This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Rappaport to the rescue with award-winning animal advocate Jill Rappaport. Hi, I'm Jill Rappaport, and welcome to Rappaport to the Rescue. We have a really great show for you today, focusing on 3 wonderful organizations that are giving back to animals in need, especially in the Hamptons this summer. And I am involved with all 3 of these exciting events.
And they are helping every animal under the sun. Dogs, cats, horses, deer, birds, you name it, we're going to be talking about it today. And first up, I'm going to be catching up with Cathy Bissell.
From Bissell Inc., also known as Bissell Home Care, who has now devoted her life to helping rescue animals. Then we will be talking to the new executive director of the incredible Wildlife Center in the Hamptons, and I'm emceeing that event this year. And this woman, Kathleen Mulcahy, is truly boots on the ground. You won't want to miss this. And our third guest in this wonderful show about giving back to animals in the Hamptons is my dear friend, Valerie Angeli from the Equus Foundation. Now, Valerie focuses on these wonderful horses, what we can do to save them, to help them, to get them adopted. And we do an event every year at the Hampton Classic. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before, called Adoption Day. Of course, we will be doing it again. And Valerie is here to tell us about all the exciting things that will be part of this event this year. So please stay tuned to this show about giving back to animals in the Hamptons when we come back.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Jill Rappaport. Welcome back to Rappaport to the Rescue. Our first guest up today is Cathy Bissell from Bissell Inc. You know that name. Everybody probably has one of those vacuums, of course. And Cathy, who started in the family business and still continues to this day, really found her true life calling much later in life, and it had nothing to do with vacuums. Although you definitely need them for your pets, it's all about animal welfare for her now. And Cathy, so great to have you on Rappaport to the Rescue. And I'm going to be seeing you this weekend at the Unconditional Love event, South Hampton Animal Shelter Foundation, and they're honoring you. Tell us about the award that you're receiving.
Well, I got this phone call saying I was awarded. I was so honored, honestly. It's really wonderful to be recognized by, we're in Michigan and we're all over the country as a foundation doing hard work. But when somebody calls you and says they want to honor you, it is really, really a special feeling. I mean, we work hard and sometimes you don't feel like anybody notices what you're doing. And so to get this call was like, just so heartwarming and wonderful.
And it's such a great shelter. I've been working with them for years and started this campaign this year, a home for the holidays and a home for after the holidays. And what I love about you, Cathy, you've been a corporate girl for years, but we kind of started out on the same path. I was a fashion reporter, and I know you were too. And then we found our calling later in life, which really was all about saving animals in need.
Yeah, it's really funny. I actually wanted to be a vet when I was younger.
Me too.
You did? Okay, so there you go.
I went to Michigan State, but I sucked in math, so I ended up going to BU School of Communications for journalism.
Well, see, now look at you and look at what you've done. I say I've come full circle. So I went into fashion. I loved it. It was the best part of New York. To be in fashion in New York was incredible. Worked for 2 very high-profile magazines, GQ and Harper's Bazaar. And then to come back to Michigan and get into animals. It's just, full circle.
And that's my hometown. I'm a Michigan girl too. But what's amazing is your life
took a turn later in your 40s, and it was due to Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, it was. It was really interesting. I had never gone into a shelter, never wanted to go into a shelter because I loved animals so much. So the fact that Katrina hit and they asked me if I would help, take some pictures of the dogs at the shelter, it was beautiful. And it changed my life.
It really did. And it's so funny because our paths have crossed over in so many ways. When I created the show Dog Bowl for Animal Planet, and I had been doing Puppy Bowl, the rescue segments, you have sponsored that show for years. You've been involved with so many wonderful projects, always donating your time, your company's money. You have the Bissell Pet Foundation. It's unbelievable what you have turned your passion and your heartfelt desire into.
Yep, it is true. I mean, it is all about passion. I think that people are the most successful when they're passion driven. And for sure, the Bissell Pet Foundation was driven on passion. And all of our love for pets, I mean, I think 89% of the people that work at our company are pet owners. So that's a high number. And we have an open campus, so you can bring your pets to work. And it's just a really great environment. And it's morphed into that naturally. It wasn't something we did out of trying to be a company that's giving back. It was just the natural progression of making products that clean up after pets and realizing that a lot of people back in the day gave up their pets because they couldn't clean up the stains or didn't want to deal with them. Now that's nothing. I mean, that's so easy to do. You can have 6 pets like me and not feel any pain.
Oh, you have a 6 rescue pack, Cathy. I love that. But what's truly amazing is how many animals the Bissell Pet Foundation has actually saved.
Hundreds of thousands. Yeah. Since our short time in 2011, and we started slow, but we do so much to save so many lives. It's really grown a lot, and we grow out of need. When there's a need, it projects us into an area to make a difference.
And this is your 13th anniversary. What is your desire? What's your dream? You say you've saved hundreds of thousands of animals, which in itself is just unbelievable to truly make that sort of a difference during a time. And right now, Cathy, I'm seeing it day in and day out and talking to shelters. It's the worst it's been in decades.
It's the worst it's been in a long time. So my dream would be to make sure that we can get every pet fixed, spayed or neutered, so that we can cut down on populations and have rules for people and laws passed that protect animals because they deserve our protection. We're seeing so much cruelty out there right now. We're seeing an overabundance of pets. We're seeing struggling, mothers with kittens and puppies, and it's a bad time. And shelters are overcrowded right now. So we need to get our populations down. We need to focus on spay and neuter, the key thing, which, wasn't happening during COVID. So now we're back full force trying to make that difference.
And also, I try to encourage people what we can do, what everybody can do. If it's donate $1 or become a foster, which is so crucial because you are the lifeline between hell and heaven. You're the middleman. And I tell people there's so much we can do. If you just take one element and go to your local shelter and say, okay, I can walk a dog for you. I can foster a dog. Here's $1, whatever. We can make a difference.
We can make a difference. And I love that between heaven and hell. You are so right. And fostering is crucial for so many of these pets with overcrowded shelters. The stress that these pets have, I mean, it's just so sad to see. I mean, some of them turn their backs on the people walking by because they've just had it. They're looking for a home. They're deserving. And not only are they stressed, but the shelters themselves are stressed right now because these people want the best for the animals in their care, and they just can't find enough homes. That's where adoption really will change the game. Spay and neuter, adopt, foster. Really important.
It's so important. And Cathy, I'm so excited to see you in my neck of the woods this weekend. Just love South Hampton Animal Shelter. They do so much great work. They have an open door policy, and no animal is ever turned away.
It's so special for me, and I'm really looking forward to meeting everyone behind this wonderful shelter because they are doing great work. And people where I live in Michigan, there are a lot of people from the New York area, and they've heard about me getting this award, and they talk so much about this shelter, how much they love this shelter. This is their home state, and they love South Hampton Shelter and what they do for the animals. So I'm very honored and really thrilled and can't wait to be there.
And I'm sure this honor is going to bring in a lot of support
to the shelter, which is what they need now more than ever. Cathy Bissell, you are an angel, and I'm so thrilled to have you on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me. And it's so nice to be on your show and to be connected with you, because you are an amazing person and I love being around amazing people.
Oh, Cathy, thank you so much. And when we come back, we are getting wild. We will hear all about this wonderful organization to help the wildlife in the Hamptons.
Want to know who the latest trendsetters are in Hollywood? How about Irish setters? Find out who's been spotted with spots, chowing with their chow, and shopping for Gucci with their Poochie. Get the scoop on all the latest celebrity pet patter right here. Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Welcome back to Rappaport to the Rescue. I'm Joe Rappaport. You know, one of the greatest things about living in the Hamptons is enjoying our beautiful wildlife. And there is an organization here, the only one of its kind on the East End, called the Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Center, that is truly making a difference for all of our wildlife. And I am so thrilled to have on today the new executive director, Kathleen Mulcahy. So great to have you here, and so excited to be emceeing your event.
Well, we are so thrilled to have you at our event on August 2nd. We can't wait.
Well, it's such an incredible organization. I try to explain to people because it's the only one on the East End, and what you do is truly God's work. And it is unbelievable, the scope of rescue and the animals that you take in and the work that goes into what you do. And I know this is a relatively new job for you. You were the mayor of Sag Harbor. You are truly boots on the ground gal. Tell us about this role and why you wanted to take this job at this time.
You know, it's just so important as we develop out here and overdevelop the East End. The wildlife are just getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And unfortunately, they're getting pushed onto roads where they get hit by cars. They just don't have a habitat left. And we see it in the animals that are coming in every day. So I'm very lucky. I'm in a position at this point where I can give back a little bit more. This is just one of the perfect places on Long Island to be giving back. So I love it. I learn so much every single day on how to protect our wildlife, which is one of the things that we really want to strengthen in our goals in general at the Wildlife Rescue Center, so that we don't have to rescue, so that people who find animals can help rescue them themselves, and they can stay right where they belong in their neighborhood with their parents and their family and their bird friends and deer friends and everything else.
Well, the statistics are truly daunting. Just reading about what you do in a given year, since January, I believe almost 1,300 animals have been taken in to the wildlife.
1,400 today.
1,400 now. That's just since January.
Yep.
Now, the other statistic that blew me away, that on any given day, you get between 750 and 1,000 phone calls to help, to rescue, to go out, to save.
We get ridiculous amounts of phone calls, but the great news is we have 100 volunteers out there. So we take those phone calls and we put them out to the right area, and we are able to go and rescue the majority of the animals that we get calls about if they're within our area.
It's so interesting that you say you have 100 volunteers. When you consider almost 1,000 calls a day and you've helped 1,400 animals in just less than 8 months, 100 volunteers seems very few, Kathleen.
So one of the things with our calls is we get calls from all around the country. You know, when somebody puts in wildlife rescue, we are one of the top hits. So we get calls not only from all of Long Island, but all of New York and Connecticut. And often, I've taken calls from Chicago, from Dallas, from all over. So a lot of the things we handle right here on the phone with people before we even have to send somebody out.
I want to share a story, and I'm going to share it at the event too, but I have to tell my listeners what I've experienced with this wonderful organization. Just this year, I was driving home on a very cold winter day, icy streets, and it was just bitter, brutal outside. And I see this deer limping, barely able to walk in South Hampton, going from one part of the street into the woods. And I went, oh, he looked like he'd been hit by a car. So I immediately called your organization. A volunteer was on the phone with me within seconds. And they said, where are you? I told them the general area. And I said, but I don't think you're ever going to find him. He was limping and he went off into the woods. She said, what's your phone number? She took it down. She said, we will get back to you when we find him. And I said, I love that. Not if, when. And wouldn't you know that within an hour of that phone call, this unbelievable volunteer called me back and she said, Jill, well, we did find him. I know you'll be comforted to hear that. Unfortunately, he could not be saved. He had a broken back, but we were able to get him into our truck, a warm, safe area, and cover him with a soft blanket so that at the end he was comforted. And that's the whole reason people need to understand what you do, what this organization does is God's work. That made me feel so much better, even though the outcome was so sad. But look what they did for that animal in his last minutes of life.
And that is, unfortunately, one of the things we do all too often is just comfort in the last few minutes of life because these animals are so severely injured and they just can't make it in the wild anymore. So we help them have a good end of life and move on. It's crushing, but we know we're helping. So even when we have to put an animal down for one reason or another, we know, or the animal dies because it was so severely injured on its own, we know that we help a little bit and help its end of life to be more comfortable.
And what about what you do to save them at the rescue center with the birds and the prey? I mean, what comes in and what you've been able to accomplish?
And the babies, we get so many babies. It's crazy. At one point, we had about 37 raccoon babies in here. Every single one had to be hand-fed every 2 hours. We have the raccoons. We have squirrels. We're just starting our second series of squirrels because squirrels have 2 litters. Until recently, that wouldn't have happened till late August, but now all of climate is crazy, and we're starting to see baby squirrels already in mid-July. We have baby squirrels coming in, baby rabbits. I just saw a baby rabbit that it was no bigger than 2 inches. I've never seen something so small. And again, being hand-fed, and that will be hand-fed every hour on the hour until it's big enough to get released in about a month.
Just hearing about what the work you do, it's just mind-blowing. And this costs money. Please talk to us about the costs and what you need to continue.
We have a food budget that is astronomical and getting higher all the time. We are, thank God, supported in part by Wild by Nature here in Hampton Bays. They very generously, 6 days a week, give us their own produce, which has really helped our budget tremendously. But we still have a 5 going on 6-figure food budget just to feed our animals on a regular.
What about the medical, the expensive medicine?
The medicine is crazy. That is another close to 6-figure budget of just medicine and to keep these animals alive, to keep them hydrated. A lot of seabirds come in with botulism because they've been eating lead off the bottom of the bays, lead fishing materials. So we have to give them antibiotics, but we can save these animals. We save swans and geese that come in with terrible breathing problems. Their necks are twisted, and we can save them with antibiotics. So it's really remarkable what is doable if we have the resources to do it.
Okay, and on that note, I want to end with, first of all, thanking you for taking over and really making this organization the wonderful, unbelievable place that it is and continuing this life-saving work. And just tell people where they can donate, where they should send any donations or whatever they can do to help, where you would like them to go.
Sure. We would love you to go to wildliferescuecenter.org. We are the Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Center in Hampton Bays. But if you go to wildliferescuecenter.org, you will see a donate button or a volunteer button. And really, we love your money, but we love your hard work as well. So we do courses on how to rescue animals, how to work here in the hospital. We'll take it all.
And Kathleen, you promised I could go out on a run with you, on a rescue run.
We have an osprey who we're going to release at some point this week, and I'm going to call you as soon as I know the time. We've seen a little baby turkey today in Sag Harbor, if you want to join me with that late this afternoon.
Oh, I love that. I have all my wild turkeys on my property. I might do that one.
All right. I'll call when I know when that is. And we'll see you on August 2nd at the South Hampton Arts Center at our Get Wild Gala. And tickets are still available for that. You can also find that at wildliferescuecenter.org.
And that's a wonderful event. But
it gets me better now.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for all you do for the animals of the East End. You are remarkable. And Mark, thank you for starting this. And, a great podcast. I love listening to it. I listen to it all the time on my way home from work. And we love you. So
coming from you, that's a huge compliment, Kathleen. And hopefully I'll see you this afternoon on the turkey run. And when we come back, it's all about steeds in need, horse welfare, and the Hampton Classic Horse Show Adoption Day. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Jenny Garth, and I am a lifelong animal lover. I grew up on a farm in Illinois and spent my life caring for horses and animals of all shapes and sizes. Your life can be forever changed too by adopting a shelter pet. It's not only the joy your new pet experiences when they find a loving home, but also the happiness you'll get from welcoming them into your life. The heroes at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Rappaport to the Rescue. I'm Jill Rappaport, and our final guest today, my dear friend Valerie Angeli from the Equus Foundation. And Valerie, so great to have you on again. Every year we get together to talk horses and adoption of horses, and we have our big event coming up at the Hampton Classic.
Oh, we do. Jill, thank you so much for having me on. And thank you, as always, for all of the attention you give to horses at risk and all animals at risk. And this Adoption Day, I couldn't do without you. You've been part of it since the beginning, and you helped me create it and helped me be a voice for the horses behind the scenes that aren't getting the attention that the fancy show horses get at shows like the Hampton Classic. There are many, 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 many thousands of horses across the country that need our help and need our voice. So thank you for being part of this again. I'm really excited.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. What year are we in, Valerie? I was thinking back to our very first Adoption Day.
Oh, gosh, don't make me remember. 9? Is it 10, 11 years? Or maybe, I don't know. Lost track. I've lost track. But each year it gets better. And so do you. And, in helping me with this. And of course, it's sponsored by Georgina Bloomberg, top international rider. And, it's about dogs and cats getting adopted that day, too, which we love. But the Equus Foundation loves that we get to take the lead on organizing the adoptable horses that come. And also the messaging. It's not just adoption of horses that day. It's about learning why horses are at risk, why they need help in transition, and options for them. So, we always say adopt, don't shop. Absolutely. But let's all help horses in any way we can, even if we can adopt. And you'll learn how at our event this year, which is August 26th, Monday. This year, we're in the big fancy Grand Prix ring, something new, Jill. And it's from 1:30 to 3 with adoptable horses from Rising Star Horse Rescue. And we'll have our guardian charities, Endeavor Therapeutic Horsemanship, the Equus Effect from Sharon, Connecticut. They're all going to talk about how to donate a horse for therapy purposes for first responders and physical therapy. Horses are therapists as well as athletes and our friends, and they can do so much. So they need second chances. They need homes and they need options. This is an event about options for horses transitioning as well.
And repurposing. People don't really understand. And when they hear what you do and what you've created, they're thinking, wow, this is so great. I might have had a show horse, but now they can have a whole new life, even be a companion horse. It doesn't matter. They have purpose.
Absolutely. And, when you go to a horse show and you think, how beautiful, look at these gorgeous horses. And they are gorgeous. But then you think, if they can't jump that fence anymore, or the person riding them retires or goes to college or whatever, then what? We don't think about the then what. And that's, every single horse is at risk of abuse, neglect, and potentially even slaughter. I hate to say it, but it's true. They're all one unfortunate or non-decision away from risk. They're big, expensive, sensitive creatures, and we need to step up and have options for them. So this is a joyful, positive event that's all about options and solutions. And you're going to be dazzled by Mary Elena Moran, who is a mounted officer. And she's also a horse trainer that rescues horses from slaughter and turns them into police horses and therapy horses. And some of them are Mustangs, formerly wild Mustangs. Some of them are draft horses that used to pull carts and they were dumped at auction and they were about to lose their lives at slaughter. So she believes that every horse needs a chance. And so do we. They're all champions, if we just give them a chance. So this is our day to make horses shine and be their voice, as you do so well, and helping us interview all the people that are on the front lines of horse rescue and repurposing, retraining, rehoming, and giving horses the options they need.
Well, it's such an amazing event. And when people come, they are truly blown away when they see the horses from Rising Star and they think, wait a minute, that horse is up for adoption. That horse looks like a contender in this unbelievable horse show. And for very low cost, you can actually adopt one of these gorgeous, majestic animals and give them a second chance for a new life. And that's what I love about this event, because the backdrop is quite different for what the cause is.
Exactly. And what you said is exactly true. Some of these horses were fancy show horses that just lost their owner and were in a bad place. Again, horses are expensive. People can fall on hard times and not be able to afford their horse. So that's where rescues step in. And they do get fancy horses. There are gorgeous drop-dead thoroughbreds, quarter horses, ponies of all kinds that are available through rescues. And the beautiful thing about adopting from a rescue is once you adopt from a rescue group, you make room for another horse that was probably slaughter bound or is suffering in the wings somewhere that's desperate for a lifeline. So you're kind of saving two when you save one. And we love that. And the same with dogs and cats, as you well know. You're the biggest shelter animal advocate. We all have to work together and give animals a second chance. They do so much for us and they give us so much. We owe them that too, right? And that's what you always say.
Well, Valerie, on a final note, first of all, you've devoted your whole life to animal rescue, and the Equus Foundation is so unbelievable. Tell us where people can give back, because this is an incredibly expensive endeavor. And this foundation spends a ton of money to save these animals and a ton of time and volunteers. Tell people where they can go to donate to make a difference.
Yes. And thank you so much, because we can't do it without donations. I mean, we are a foundation that basically supports reputable, and I stress reputable because the founder, Lynn Coakley, came up with a unique system where every organization we give to and support is thoroughly screened and does not get a grant from us unless they pass our qualifications, because nobody wants to fund a charity that is bad. And we've all done that by accident. And this is our way of making sure that doesn't happen. So equusfoundation.org is our website. You can donate there, and we guarantee you that every dollar we get goes right back into our grants program that supports rescues, retraining, rehoming. We want to encourage vet students. We want to encourage vet techs. There are so many careers with horses that need people. And we want to encourage that, because horses are out there and they need help. And so we actually give grants to students that are studying for vet programs that have to do with helping horses. We're kind of one-stop shopping for the horse lover, and the only charity that's 100% focused on helping horses and the horse-human bond in the United States. So if you love horses, Our hashtag is For the Love of Horses. Please join us, support us, and just be our voice. You know, you can be a keyboard warrior and just help us network horses that need homes if you can adopt. But there's so much you can do, and we'd love to engage you in doing it.
Well, Valerie, you are a true powerhouse voice for horses in need. Thank you again for being my guest. And Equus is doing just an amazing job to truly save these lives. So thank you so much for that. And I can't wait to see you at the end of August at the Hampton Classic Adoption Day.
I know. We have so much fun every year, and you are so awesome and you're so inspiring. Thank you so much for all you do.
And I want to thank all of you for tuning in today for this very special Giving Back to Animals in the Hamptons podcast.
You can make a difference, and please do it now.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.